Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. We are gaming on another level, on a whole other reality. I try to tell Twitch and YouTube what game I am playing, and they can't find it. They just don't understand. These games are released in the beginning of November 1982. And we were last in Japan playing the first game on the Pyuta. Let's press forward to see our next game. Coming up next is Defender on Try, released on the Commodore VIC-20. A real game. I thought they would find this one, but no one knows what this one is on Twitch and YouTube when you try to tell the video what game it is. Let's check out Defender on Try, starting with the box. Defender on Try. Does that mean there's other games that are Defender on, 1, 2, and 3? But no, this is not a sequel. This is all by itself. It says we're going to be piloting Skies Limited. Can you see the name of the plane there? It has a name, and we're going to be flying that. Blowing up VIC-20 programming. This is by Nufcop. It's displayed on the front of the box. And this box is the same thing Nufcop usually does. They have someone who's programming in the middle of Stonehenge. I don't know why. Maybe that's something with the lore of the company Nufcop. But we flip the box over on the back, and we see that this is 5K VIC-20 needed, 3K memory expander, you and the Defender-style ship. Defender-style ship, nice touch. Skies Limited are the only hope for the advanced exploration party that has discovered an ancient planetoid-sized alien vessel trapped irretrievably in the gravity well of our sun. It's 4 screens worth of alien machinery and defenses combined with running timer, score, fuel level. I love the description on the back. This is great. Available both in cassette, disc, and cartridge. I have not found the cartridge, though. The disc and cassette version are out there, and then there's other products that Nufcop has done, like Exterminator, Alien Panic, and Crazy Kong. Awesome. Most of those we've already seen here on the show, and we're going to see a lot more. This is the 15th game that we've seen by Nufcop up to this point, and we got more than that. Besides the box, here is the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time, with boasting even more games of what it is. Or there's the loading instructions and how to play the game. Shields are energized by pressing the fire button. This costs 50 units of fuel each time, but shields are essential to the play. Almost everything you touch, including alien treasures, nullifies the existing ones. When shields are energized, Skies Limited, which is the name of our plane apparently, has purple color. And it's off whenever it's black or carrying out a scientist. Blue. Okay, so it's explaining down here some instructions of how to play the game. And there's the example of the screenshot for Defender on Try. This one's an obscure one. We're going to play the disc version of the game, so we don't have to wait too long to load. This was by Scott Elder, published by the Software Guild in the beginning of November 1982. This is only on the Commodore VIC-20. It is the 306th game we've played on the Commodore VIC-20 here on the show. And Scott Elder, man, this is the 11th game we've seen by him. Scott the Elder has given us lots of games on the Commodore VIC-20 and lots of other home computers too. The publisher is Software Guild, or they also go by Softsmith Software. Say that 5 times fast. And this is the 16th game we've seen by them. So we go in, and it immediately brings us in the game. I'm in the bottom left corner as the spaceship. They explained right when we booted up what everything is, and whenever you push the button, plane turns purple, and I can pass through the barrier to collect some of the items. But if you're not energized, that's what happens. The whole screen shakes, you blow up, and you have to probably go back to the beginning. Yeah, there you go. So there it is. We have different things to pass by barriers to collect and pick up, point values for them, and then we were trying to make our way to the exit. All right, so let's do this again. If you look down at the very top of the screen, it's telling us what our time is and how much fuel we have. Every time I energize the ship, the fuel goes off. But you see what happened right there? If you go in the walls and you touch the walls, it's over. You blow up. I don't even think, do we see lives? I don't see lives, but I'm very slowly I'm just tapping the joystick to barely make it through the maze. It's very, very careful so I don't smash into the wall here. Come on. That's better. There, much better. All right, can I pick this up? No, you can't pick anything up. You have to energize your ship before you do anything. So there's the base, there's the fuel, and then the exit is where the arrows are. So I've got to make myself to the side of the into the screen over here. This one doesn't flow as smoothly as some of the other games that flip from one to the other. This one is this screen, then you move on to the next screen, maybe collect a few items, pick a few things up. Fuel's looking okay right now. So it's 5 screens they boasted. I haven't made it that far, but you see every time I energize... Yeah, so you have to use fuel and clear an obstacle and then use fuel again. What a strange idea. But if I want to make my way to my buddy, that is the tiniest character I've ever seen. Look how small. Now, do I have to energize to pick him up? No. Okay, thank you. All right, so I can make it to the exit now with him. I think I have to make it to the exit. Looks like we have some barriers here to make it through. Can I use my... Okay, I can't. So even when he's on my ship, I can still energize. But it shows us that we picked up the hostage. We're blue. Now we got to make our way to the exit. Do I have enough fuel to make it through the other side? I think I'll be all right. So let's keep going over here. Make sure you energize, touch, and then do I have to energize to get fuel? Oh, we maxed out of fuel. Nice. All right, so we're just got to make it to the exit down right here above my shoulder. There it is. It's so close. I know, Marshall, the memory on this thing is very, very strange. I'm amazed that we have a 3K memory expand, like we would expand by 3K. It's still very bizarre. At this point, some of the most we've seen, I think, was 16K. Let me see how I'm going to make it through this. I think I could be... There. It should pass over. Yeah. No problem. Let's not pick up anything else. Let's just... Oh my gosh. It's so finicky to move around. That means I died and the hostage died too, right? And I got to do the whole level all over again. Yes? Yeah. No continue here. Whoa. Brutal. This is... Nintendo hard doesn't exist yet. This is Commodore VIC-20 hard. That's what this is. So I got plenty of fuel. I'm just going to... I want to see if I can make it with the hostage and get out of here and pass the level without smashing into the walls. Nice and easy now. Nice and easy. Oh, see, I got to be careful on the barriers here between those two. Yeah, we're looking all right. Okay, just tap myself. I'm having to be so careful. Pick the hostage up. We turn blue. Yeah, it's... Oh, gosh. I feel like I'm going to make the mistake just even tapping. Okay, looks good there. I have enough fuel. Let's just go. No, let's not just go. Let's smash into the walls. Yeah, we've seen this on the Commodore VIC-20. The color choice of the yellow on white is just terrible. You can barely see it. I would love to know if people had played games on the Commodore VIC-20 and the types of colors on an actual CRT. We're using filters to make it look like a cathode ray tube television, but I want to know if it really was the same or looked that bad when you played it then. Let's keep going. And I'm with you there, Charlie. This game looks like the quintessential VIC-20 look of a video game. This probably might be the most VIC-20-ish game we've played so far. So it would work better if the controls weren't so... It's so loose. Like sometimes if I'm trying to move the ship, it moves several hexes at a time or squares at a time, but sometimes it doesn't. It's tile-based programming, so I know I'm going to be moving one tile at a time, but sometimes the joystick is moving more than one tile. It is nerve-wracking. So I understand what I'm supposed to do. I like the idea. I like the exploration. I like rescuing hostages, but because the controls are so finicky. Easy now. Easy. See, look at that. I'm pretty sure I only tapped the joystick one direction, and it should have only moved one tile, but it did not. It moved two. It's so tight. Okay, nice and easy now. We got this. Okay, here we go. Now, I just got to make it through just to be sure. Okay, let's do... I'm going so slow. Easy. Okay, here we go. Just slow. This feels like I'm playing a torture game. Okay, and the exit. We did it. We made it to screen 2. Now my ship's still showing blue. Oh, is that supposed to drop them off at the base? Maybe when you get to the 5th screen, that's where the base is, and you collect more hostages. But I don't see anybody here. There's nobody on this side, so I got to make it through these barriers there. We have a fuel we can pick up. Okay, good. We did not need to energize ourselves to pick up the fuel, and then we have to get through this side there. Got it. So interesting premise, but it's still essentially a top-down maze game with elements that you have to pass through or barriers you have to pass through. Oh, yeah, right? Oh, the joystick. You're right, Curtis. Moving one. Yes, it's very difficult, especially if it's tile-based. This is a digital joystick on the Commodore VIC-20, but every now and then it feels like I'm moving more than one tile at a time. All right, let's see. I like the different obstacles they're giving me here. Really, really cool idea. The arcade maze or top-down arcade maze game is something we've seen since the beginning, almost the beginning of time here on Chronologically Gaming. This marks the 288th game. Gosh, that is an arcade maze game or top-down maze game. On the Commodore VIC-20, there's 24 of these games. That's why I say this is one of the most VIC-20-ish looking video games we played on the VIC-20 thus far. Out of those 24 that are on the VIC-20, that's taking away from the Pac-Man games. There's 14 Pac-Man variants that are on the Commodore VIC-20 right now. And so the 24 games that are on the VIC-20 that are arcade maze games or top-down maze games are not Pac-Man. Some of the other ones that are in those 24 games are like Head-On games, Hyonkyo Alien games, or Rally X games. But some of the games that play like this or similar to this that remind me of this is Bank Robber on the Commodore VIC-20, Cattle Roundup, Garden Wars, Earth Invaders, and Rat Trap. And so this is pretty average if you want to think of all the games you could play at this time. I like this idea and premise. It's really, really fun, but it's just the controls are a little bit off. I'm looking over in the chat. I already see a 2 or 2.5 stars. Yeah, I know. I like the concept. And then I also see from Charlie 3 stars. Oh, Vicman. that's being very generous, Prada. And then we got 2.5 from Manly. So of all the games you can be playing across all home computers right now, that's a lot of home computers that are out there. Defender on Try has merits that make you think this should be good and play well. But because of the controls and because of the simplicity, I'm going to have to go fairly average. I'm actually going to say 2.5 stars of all the games you could play up to this point. Around the average range, I'd say average still, but not nearly as average as the other averages that would be out there. All right, so after that game, Defender on Try, let's see what our next release is. Next, we're going to play on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is Dragon Maze. Only in the United Kingdom. Let's pop in Dragon Maze to play by Micronic Systems in the beginning of November 1982. This is our 119th game that we played on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum, and by Micronics, this would be the 6th game that we've seen. Dragon Maze. The object of the game is to get past the dragon and reach the exit on the right. Got it. All right, how do we play? I'm ready. Spacebar. Enter. Numbers. Cursors. Oh, maybe the cursor keys? Was that it? Oh, it's going. It's going to be building the game because this is another one of those randomized video games. I really thought randomization was mostly in roguelikes, but no. Here on Chronologically Gaming, we've seen a lot of games that have random elements. And this is a very simple concept. I'm going to actually speed past this. Yes, build our maze, please. Thank you. And then we have to study that maze. Did everyone memorize it? Okay, we are here. The dragon is over there. And every time that I move, I can only use the cursor keys. There's no shift. But every time you move, you're revealing the maze. And it tells you have a bad move if you hit the walls. So this, what we're playing, even though it has a dragon, this is just a puzzle maze game. Uh-oh, the dragon's angry. I don't know what that means. This really feels almost like we played this as a typing game at some point. I did not memorize the maze at all, but... and I don't know what the angry dragon means. We call these puzzle maze games here on the show. This is the 19th puzzle maze game that we played on all systems. Some of the best puzzle maze games you could play on home computers right now would be Mazogs on the ZX81 or Amazing on the Texas Instruments home computer. Parenchral Mazes we played on the Apple II, or Thunder Island on the Atari home computer. This, though, is really, really simple. Yes, right there. It's still go. I don't know if I can make it to the exit because I haven't memorized it yet, but as you move around, it's revealing the maze. This also reminds me of another one we played on the Acorn Atom. So it's very European for an arcade maze game. But that dragon is going to destroy us, most likely. Yes, he ate us. They give us a little animation for him chomping down. The dragon got you. Start again? No, we will not. That's all we'll see for Dragon Maze. Of all the games you could be playing across all home computers right now, if this was only on the ZX Spectrum, I actually would say 2.5 stars. Because remember, this is a new home computer or a new micro. But for all the games you could play across all home computers right now, I'm going low. Down in the bad range, 1.5 stars. Wow, chat is unanimous. Did everyone type in 2 at the same time? I wasn't going to be as kind. I'll say 1.5. It's still bad, around the bad range, but oh my gosh, there's another 2. I won't concede with the chat. I won't say there's better games you could be playing, or at least better bad games than this one. Dragon Maze is slow, cursor keys only. There's much more out there than this. All right, with that, let's press forward to see our next game. We're still going to hang out in the United Kingdom and play now on the Dragon 32. It's not the Dragon 64 yet. They haven't got their memory up until 1983. This is Dragonfly, the flight simulator. Now, you got to admit, that's pretty cute. We're playing on the Dragon Micro, and this game's called Dragonfly. I love it. This game is only on the Dragon 32. With a name like that, well, I mean, why not? And this is the 35th game we've seen on the Dragon. This is by Hewson Consultants. The 4th game that we've seen by them. And I believe most of them have been flight simulators. Front of the box is self-explanatory, and this is the cassette case for it. Yeah, now because the dragon's angry, we're playing on the Dragonfly. We have, besides the cassette case, this is explaining what the flight simulator will get for us. And we also have inside instructions, how to move the joystick left and right. This has an analog joystick plugged into the computer, and that's what we're going to be playing as. Check out all the instruments and what it indicates and what the wind degrees and joystick. So it is slightly complicated. We've seen more complicated flight simulators, but it's interesting that this is for the Dragon 32. There's the cassette we're going to pop into play. And if we open the whole thing up, you have the whole scenario. We're the pilot of a light aircraft on the runway at Norwich Airport. You've been given clearance to fly a circuit and land back at Norwich, or to fly south to Hethel and land there. There's a radio beacon at the Hethel, and this will guide you to either flight. So we're only flying to one location. We're not going to pick anything else. And if you want to, you can see all the controls for your plane. Amazing. All right, so I'm not sure who made this one. Let's pop it and play Dragonfly. Hewson Consultants at the beginning of November 1982. Now, because I don't know exactly who the developer is, I'm pretty sure it is Mike Mail that did this one. And we're going to fast forward through the loading. We're not going to wait a minute and a half for this. Ready and go. Let's play some flight simulation. Joystick control. Yes, we have joysticks. I got it. Good day, Captain. This is Norwich Airport Control. You're cleared to fly circuits or Hethel at Beacon. Okay, Hethel is on. Got it. Get any key to go. Wind is 290 degrees. Input the strength of the wind. I don't want any wind. Can I say 0? Yeah, 0. And how much fuel is required? We get to pick the fuel, too. 50 gallons of fuel. I'll do 40, even though we're not even going to get near to using that. Here's the controls. Memorize that. Any key, you can actually, M for the map, or any key to start. So if I want to look at the map, I can hit M. And here's the map. That's what it is. They even have a key or rubric to tell us what everything is. There's the airport's X, high mass beacon, military air traffic zone, and then it shows us where Norwich is. It's almost like some of the maps we've seen on the Coco, which is a similar computer to the Dragon 32. So there you go. It's showing us everything there. But the reason I say I think Mike Mail did this one is because Mike Mail did a game called Pilot, which was a flight simulator for the ZX81 by Hewson Consultants, and Night Flight on the ZX Spectrum by Hewson Consultants. So I cannot prove it's Mike Mail that developed this, but I'm pretty sure he did that. If he was pumping out flight simulators on those other 2 computers, I'm pretty sure with Hewson Consultants he did this one too. All right, so we're done with the map. We're going in. We can use the arrow keys for our altitude. We can move our flaps up and down. I don't even know how we're most likely going to crash this. I want to see how well this runs. So if I do, let's power on. Flaps are still down. Let's bring the flaps up. And then our gear is still down. I don't know if we're going to be able to take off from here. All right, get the power going. And we also have the brakes on, so turn off the brakes. Not really seeing too much. What if I turn? It does turn. Oh my gosh. Did everyone see that it quickly redraw the screen when I was trying to turn the plane? It was the most brash change of screen in a flight simulator that we've seen thus far. Oh, that would be a great idea, Curtis. They didn't have anything in the manual to speed it up. But yeah, we could use the default poke, I'm guessing. I only did it for Wizard War here on the show, and I'm doing all the rest without poking anything. Look at all this. 13 reasons we had a crash. We haven't seen that here on the show. All right, so if I do OK, do I have to run again? I do. So it just crashes the whole game, and then we have to run it back. All right, so let's do joysticks again, yes. I'm pretty sure we're going to crash again. All right, we'll even do wind strength. Let's do 5. Let's see if the wind will blow us over. And then I'll do 10 gallons of fuel. There's our controls. Power is... Oh, okay, I was hitting the wrong key for power. And then undercarriage, flaps, and then the map. Okay, so let's do it. Most likely going to crash. We crash a lot of planes here on Chronologically Gaming. Hey, welcome Obsidian Arcade. We're still playing every video game in order of release. We're currently in the United Kingdom on the Dragon 32. It's not the 64 yet. Don't read the outside. And we're playing Dragonfly, the second flight simulator that we've seen on the Dragon 32. This marks the 17th flight simulator we've seen up to this point, and out of the 2 flight simulators you could play on this little micro, the better one is actually the other one we played. 747 Flight Simulator, play that one instead of this one. Dragonfly has a cool name. It's cutesy, but it doesn't play nearly as well. All right, let's crash this again. There we go. We got 13 reasons why we crashed. We hit the ground, we turned too low, we stalled and spun, we inverted flight too long, the rate of descent was too high. Man, 13 reasons why we fail at flight simulators here on Chronologically Gaming. Well, wasn't an accurate taste of what flight simulation games are like. This one's actually going to get a sequel, a Dragonfly 2, the high-res flight simulator in 1983, so look forward to that. In the meantime, I would say this is still, subpar considering all the other games you could play across all home computers and micros. I'm thinking 2.5 stars, but if you want to experience flight simulators in their entirety, you got to play them a little bit longer than we do here. All right, so I'm going to go 2.5 stars for everything you could play up to this point across all home computers. Better flight simulators and better games you could play. With that, let's see what our next game is. Our next release takes us to the Apple II. This is Empire 2, Interstellar Sharks. Not to be confused with the Empire series that showed up on mainframe in 1977. That would be also Empire, War Game of the Century. This is a completely different series of games. Let's take a look at the box for Empire 2. We first saw this one as Empire 1 World Builders on the Apple II in August 1981. Here's the sequel. This game is only on the Apple II, and it marks the 404th game we've played on the Apple II. Over 400 games on the Apple II. It's big, real big. I can't make heads or tails. Doesn't this box look kind of like something from the 90s? Just a little bit? Very, very weird. Flip it over the back, you can see it's the sequel, but I don't think they're selling that is part of the Empire series. They want a piece of the action. They want success and all it spoils. They want the ultimate independence of owning a personal spacecraft equipped for maximum performance in the galactic void. Welcome to Empire, a civilization poised on the summit of its prosperity. You're entering the high-tech, high-tension, entrepreneurial area of the Interstellar Sharks. This is a lot of different genres for this game, and a lot to unpack. Here's the ad you would have seen in magazines at the time for Empire 2, Interstellar Sharks. This one's by Edgeware Services that goes by the publishing label Interactive Fantasies. It's the 9th game that we've seen by them up to this point, and David Mullich did this one. Way to go, David. There's our 5 1/4 floppy disk. We're going to pop into play. Empire 2, Interstellar Sharks. 48K is all you need for this. There's the example of the screenshot, and we have lots of additional documents. I'm not going to go and read everything in its entirety, but there is a lot of paperwork you could have gotten. Empire 1 was the same way. We were not able to play Empire 1 when we last saw it on the show because we didn't have all the paperwork, but now we do. One of the things you get in the box is the Memoirs of Yoram Lazur. And this one's kind of like playing Zork. They're giving you lore that's beyond what the normal lore of a game would be. All this does is just get you into the feeling of playing Empire. These are excerpts derived from a larger work generated by Empress Yoram Lazur. Oh man, yeah, the lore is heavy. Crazy. Look at this. How do I begin? This is a really long document, by the way, going through lots and lots of like backstory of what the game's about. This game has a lot going for it too. The genres for this game include role-playing. They include a management business simulation. It's like simulation, strategy, role-playing. It's lots of things mixed up together. But how it represents all those genres is not terribly well. I know, right, Marshall? You read this, you think it's Wall Street meets Star Wars, but it's not really. Here's the actual manual to how to play Empire 2 Interstellar Sharks. Once again, I will not be reading the manual in its entirety, but I recommend you do if you want to really dive in to play the game. Interstellar Sharks. I want to know how to play. Oh yeah, by the way, David Mullich that did this game, this is the fourth game that we've seen him do. One of the other games he's done is the Prisoner series, the Prisoner 1 and Prisoner 2 games based on the TV show. That's another one that's out there. It's weird. David Mullich is making some crazy games, man. And there's other people that are involved with the game, lots of others. But look at this manual, 23 pages with an appendix and vocabulary. This goes through everything how to play the game, your space station, the spaceport, your spacecraft. Because once you actually get off the ground, you're going to be flying spacecraft and taking part in stocks and bonds within different galaxies. Interstellar Sharks is the second component of the Empire Gaming trilogy. That's right, there's a third one we're going to be seeing later. Begun by world builders and completed by Armageddon. Set in the zenith of an interstellar civilization, Interstellar Sharks chronicles the lives of entrepreneurs striving to succeed in a bureaucratic society. Gone are the days of frontiers and rugged individualism. Red tape and regulations have become the obstacles in life amid the stars. So this one's different than world builders, even though we really didn't get too far in world builders anyway. It's going to break down how to play the game, vocabulary, the time it takes to play the game, money, you're going to be using credits. There's non-playable characters you can talk to in the game, how space stations work. This is also I also missed another genre. This is also a graphic interactive fiction or text adventure game. This is the kind of text adventure games that have a one picture and you type in with a text parser. So it's a role-playing game. It's a text adventure game. It's a managerial business simulation game, and it's maybe it's a strategy game. It's picking all kinds of genres. It actually reminds me of Crystalware, wanting to put way too much in the game. We're only halfway through the manual. This is so much information. We are not going to be able to do it justice here on Chronologically Gaming. Oh, yes. Oh, really? That's fascinating. All right, so this one, yeah, we already saw it out. Let's pop in and play Empire 2, Interstellar Sharks. This is Edgeware Services and David Mullich. Look at the genre. Look how many genres are in this game. The beginning of November 1982. We have a lot to unpack and go through with this one. I'm going to be doing some fast forwarding because it does load slow. If you saw us when we played Empire 1 World Builders, we didn't get far in the game because we actually had no manuals or artwork. We had some artwork, but we didn't have anything that guided us to play the game. This one, we had the experience of all the paperwork, what you would to play the game. But man, oh man, I don't know if anyone would find this particular title enjoyable because they're throwing so much at you, but the way the game's played and getting into the game is a slog. It is very, very difficult and slow. So here's your first experience with Empire 2, Interstellar Sharks. We're playing a later version that cleans up a few of the bugs and makes it a little bit faster. So if you've played the first version, yikes, it'd probably be even worse than that. All right, we're in. The game has begun. This is where it starts. And by the way, the manual does not walk you through this. You have to figure this part out. They explain what this is. They explain you're at a spaceport and so forth. But you can see we have a hibernation chamber, a materialization chamber, and a refresh chamber. Essentially, this means, do we want to begin a new game? Do we want to load a previous game? Or do we want to save, like it's the save feature, but done like this? Crazy. Now, here's the other thing. To play this, you have to know what commands to type in. So I'm going to go forward through the materialization chamber because I want to create a new character. This game is out there. This is the most sci-fi of sci-fi games we've played. Well, not really. We've seen some other games that are pretty crazy, but this one also takes the cake. So we're now rolling a dice. Here, I'll move myself over as you can see. They're actually rolling a dice for us to pick our characters. So spacebar, they're going to get our dexterity, spacebar, and then they're just creating a character out of constitution, strength, aim. This is all the role-playing. Senses, intelligence, willpower, charisma. Nice, we got 13 charisma. Only 4 speed, and then psionics. Lots of stats, though, for another sci-fi game. And sci-fi role-playing games are really rare. Star Quest, I think the Rescue at Rigel is the other one I can think of off the top of my head. All right, so spacebar to continue. And then what kind of path do we want? This has several paths to pick from, too. So you can be a pilot, business, or diplomat. I'm going to go with pilot. But each one of these paths is a completely different experience for how you play. All right, what's our character's name? Let's do, last person in chat was Marshall. And I'll switch myself over to the side. There you go. All right, so Marshall is the character we're playing tonight. He's a pilot. An interstellar shark, if you will. So the beginning of this, you would have to know to walk through that door to make the character. This part's pretty self-explanatory. Spacebar to continue. Now that you made your character, you cannot just go where you need to next. You have the spaceport, the infomat, and the medic. So you're not making the decision as if it was a graphic text adventure game moving around. I know, right? Oh no, that's a good point, Curtis. If we can't fly very well here on Chronologically Gaming, maybe we should have been a diplomat. We're better at oration and talking than flying. All right, so now we're gonna after we roll the dice, let's head left and see if this will take us directly to the spaceport. It's also slow too. We played some graphic adventure or adventure games, text adventure games with graphics, and this one is loading slower than all the other ones. Okay, so here we go. We have the space dock, station, spaceport, and then the Transstar space lines. Now, this whole section, this area that we're in now, is several screens in size, and those several screens in size have you. Honestly, you'd be aimlessly wandering around unless you follow, the manual. It doesn't have a map in the manual, but it just explains what everything is. You have to, at this section, find your passport. You have to find your ticket, and then you have to leave to actually begin the game. And the game doesn't even begin there. After you're wandering around and you get to that part, then you have to actually find the ship, buy the ship, use the credits you have, design the ship, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing how complex it is. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the right now, because this is not where I wanted to go. And then you have to wait for this part to load too. Oh, that's right. It's probably loading the module for whatever I picked. Now, notice I went back to the right, but now I'm in a different place. Let's do forward. Oh, I can't go forward. I got two things in front of me. All right, let's go to the right. Tickets. All right, so buy ticket. Invalid. Forward. You can't go in that direction. Talk? Oh, talk. Oh, man. I feel like I'm playing a text adventure game from the very beginning now. We have no idea what the computer is going to ask or want us to say. All right, so how about show... I don't think I have a passport. Let's show passport. That word is not used now. I don't think I've heard that one before either. Oh, most likely, Chris. Well, no, the speed, though, it might be a hybrid. It may not be all in basic. Yeah, this is another one of those games that I love the ambition, but the way it's presented doesn't work so well. Crystalware did this too. They had a few games that they didn't hit the mark, but they were way too big for their own britches. But there are games that Crystalware did that did hit fairly well. Okay, so let's go to the right, I guess. Can't go in that direction. Go left. What? Can you go back? You can only go in one way. I really wanted to buy a ticket though. All right, so let's go to the right. I think it's going to just loop around. Yeah, we can only go that way. So it means we reach the end. That's so strange. I went to the right, but I can't go back to the left. Just go back again. Or maybe, wait, let me try this one. Go over to the left. Let's do, oh, here we go. Yeah, we're at the IPA. Okay, great. So now that we're at the IPA desk, we can say talk. Ask. Oh, and that word's not used now either. Okay, what about pay? Word's not used now either. Okay, so if we're at the IPA desk, can we buy ticket? What about buy ticket protocol? I can't buy that one either. What? Okay, let's go to the right again. Oh, we're stuck on this side too. So I want to get the IPA desk and buy. What about buy passport? What can I do at the desk? Talk to them. Ask? Oh, that's true because we're on the Apple II. That would make sense if it was that one. All right, so you can see we're at an impasse because the manual doesn't expressly tell you all the phrases. And so, yes, Mark, I'm with you. I'm very, very frustrated. All my play tests, I was wandering around the spaceport following the manuals and still wasn't able to get anywhere. I watched a few videos of some people that had attempted to play it online, and they were confused too. So I would say of all the games you could be playing up to this point, it has bizarre documentation, an alternate history, possible dystopian future. It features a quasi-simulation experience where you have to go step by step through most mundane things like a flight from one planet to another, walking to multiple screens of the space dock, entering the spaceport or the passport office, apply for a passport. You have to go to the ticket office, you have to buy a ticket, present items at customs, go to the airport area, enter the ship, exit the ship, present items at customs again, and this is how you play the game. Like, we haven't even got to the first part of the game, but when you play the game going from planet to planet, that's what you have to do. It also has a combat system that's hardly used. It's hard to imagine anyone that would find this game truly enjoyable. I suspect this is designed amidst a lone creator's slow descent into irrecoverable madness, except that David Mullich went on to make very, very good games, including he directed Heroes of Might and Magic for the 3DO between 1999 and 2002. And so it had a reputable publisher. It's just very strange that this is... I'm just very baffled that a series like this has been created by sane people that made something this ambitious and bizarre. At this point, this is the 91st role-playing game that we played across all home computers, and some have been hits, some have been misses. This one is a miss, and it would take just far too much time to get into it, and I've already spent about an hour or two poring over the manual and trying to make sense of it, as well as other people that have been trying to play the game too. As far as a graphic text adventure game, this is the 69th game that we played that has a text adventure game with graphics. Sorry, Marshall. Yeah, we didn't get to continue past that. As a management simulation game, this one is the 55th game that we played. And so I'm going to actually include links down below to a better article. It's by the CRPG Addict and his blog. So look at that link down below in this video so you can get more information and dive a little deeper if you want to about Empire 2 Interstellar Sharks. In the meantime, of all the games you could be playing across all home computers, yikes. I want to brush off and play something a little easier, smoother to go through, so I'll say 2.5 stars. It's very ambitious, doesn't really hit the mark, but whenever you were to spend the time and play this, it's vast. It's a very, very long game. It's almost up there with some of the other Galactic Saga games. It's very, very big and large, and you have to spend the time to get into it. But for Empire, this series, it's a little less. 2.5 stars for Empire 2 Interstellar Sharks. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Chronologically Gaming. We'll continue our quest playing every single game across all systems, all over the world, and be sure to check out our next episode. It's what we do every episode. Electronic fun with computers and games. Let's read the first issue. That's it for today, and like I always say, don't worry if your vehicle crashes and explodes. A new vehicle will appear in its place. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are perpetually retro, and we will catch you next time.